Public briefing note on the UK government silence over the rendition, unlawful detention and the life imprisonment of British citizen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, issued jointly by American Veterans of Igbo Descent (AVID), Ambassadors for Self-Determination (ASD), Rising Sun Foundation (RSF), United States of America, 10th of December 2025. Here are the news in details. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. You are going to learn a lot from this message, or rather from this article I am going to present to you at this point in time. Number 1 is background. On November 20th of 2025, Nigeria's Federal High Court, per Injustice James Omotosho, sentenced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, to life imprisonment under a repealed law, despite a binding Court of Appeal acquittal issued on October 13th of 2022. Kanu's ordeal began with his illegal rendition from Kenya in June of 2021. An operation executed without extradition proceedings in violation of the UK-Nigeria Extradition Treaty of 2008, the European Union Convention on Extradition, the United Nations Convention Against Torture, Article 8, Nigeria's domestic laws, which bar trying a rendition suspect. Despite the gravity of these violations and the fact that Kanu was abducted as a British citizen with a passport, broadcasting peacefully from London, where IPOB is legally registered. The UK government has issued no statement since the November 20th sentencing. This silence is unprecedented, alarming, and inconsistent with Britain's global human rights posture. Number 2, key concerns. A, in bracket, UK silence after the November 20 life sentence. The Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office last engaged Nigeria on 11th of November 2025, urging fair trial standards and consular access since the life sentence. There has been no statement, no parliamentary briefing, no diplomatic protest, and no sanctioning of Nigerian officials. This silence stands in stark contrast to the UK response to cases involving far less egregious violations. Implication: the UK's indifference raised a stark endorsement of a sham process. B, lack of protection for a British citizen abducted abroad. The UK has offered no explanation for its failure to condemn the international abduction of its citizen, demand compliance with the 2022 appellate discharge, reject trial under a repealed terrorism statute, respond to the fabricated claims in Omotosho's judgment, including false allegations that Kanu threatened UK and US missions. Voila. Here are the implications. The UK is failing its own citizen, violating its duty of diplomatic protection. C, Selective application of rule of law standards the UK has historically been vocal on. Alexei Navalny, Russia. Aung San Suu Kyi, Myanmar. Jimmy Lai, Hong Kong. Julian Assange, Australia/US. Yet for Kanu, a British national facing rendition, torture, illegal detention, and conviction under a repealed law, the UK has chosen silence over justice. Implication: this selective approach undermines British credibility as a champion of human rights and due process. D. Perception of bias against Igbo self-determination movements. We emphasize clearly. The UK silence is evidence of ethnic hostility toward the Igbo nation. However, historical memory matters. The Igbo diaspora perceived the UK's failure to protect Kanu, coupled with Omotoso's fabricated allegations of threats against UK and US missions, as part of a pattern of calculating neglect, reminiscent, and Britain's 1967 to 1970 role during the Biafran War. Implications: silence fuels distrust and reinforces a belief that the UK prioritizes geopolitical convenience over justice. Number 3. Why this matters to UK? A. Kanu is a British citizen. His broadcasts from London fall under UK Free Speech Protections Human Rights Act of 1998, Article 10, ECHR. His political advocacy is peaceful, legal, and constitutionally protected in the United Kingdom. B. IPOB is legally registered in the UK, company number 09862831. Its operations are lawful and transparent. C. UK economic interests cannot override human rights obligations. Trade volumes: £6.5 billion annually. With Nigeria do not absolve Britain of protecting a citizen facing state prosecution. D. The UK's global image is at stake. Silence here weakens UK moral authority in future human rights cases. 4. What the UK must do immediately. Number 1. Issue a public statement acknowledging serious concerns about unlawful rendition, trial under a repealed law, ignoring the binding Court of Appeal judgment, allegations of fabricated evidence in Omotosho's ruling. Demand Nigeria comply with its own appellate judgment of 2022. This is a basic rule of law requirement. 3. Provide full consular support, including medical access and monitoring of detention conditions. 4. Launch a parliamentary inquiry into the UK's response to Kanu's rendition and ongoing detention. 5. Review possible sanctions under the UK Global Human Rights Sanctions Regulations Magnitsky model against officials involved in the rendition, the torture, the suppression of court judgments, fabrication of evidence. 5. Our position as AVD, ASD, and RSF. We reject the narrative that this is a Nigerian internal matter when a British citizen is involved. abducted abroad, tortured, tried under a repealed law, denied the benefit of a binding appellate acquittal, and convicted on fabricated claims. It becomes an international matter and a test of UK values. We affirm that self-determination is a human right under United Nations Charter Article 1. Due process is non-negotiable. Double jeopardy cannot be ignored. A repealed law cannot be resurrected to jail a man for life. The UK must not be silent. Number 6. What we are calling for from the UK government: immediate public statement, demand for appellate compliance, diplomatic intervention, sanctions review, parliamentary debate from UK parliaments, questions to the Foreign Secretary, Human Rights Committee hearings, early day motion condemning the exploitations of repealed laws from the global community, increased media scrutiny, engagement with the U.S. State Department, support for monitoring of Kano's health and detention conditions. Number 7. Conclusion. The silence of the United Kingdom, custodian of Magna Carta and birthplace of modern human rights law, is deeply troubling. It sends a dangerous message that realpolitik can override the rights of its own citizens, and that fair trial standards are negotiable, depending on who is involved. We, the undersigned US-based Igbo and human rights organization, states unequivocally, this injustice will not be allowed to stand. Silence is complexity. The UK must act now. This message is being signed by American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID, President Dr. Sylvester Onyia, Ambassadors for Self-Determination, ASD, President Evans Nwankwo, Rising Sun Foundation, RSF, United States Chairman Maxwell Dede, 10th of December 2025. That is the message, my most wonderfully made Biafrans, brothers and sisters. Anyway, let me not talk much again, because the reading, I've already even taken what I need to say away. But anyway, because it's a very, long article and also long epistle, you know. I commend people where they write this, you know, and they try. And we also where they read them, we also they try. Anyway, here are the comments that follow this message. Chukuma Ezenwa said, tell the UK that one day Biafra must be free. Nobody can stop it. Okay, Emeka said, unfortunately, the parasites and confused, useless colonial hopeless masters, genocide instigator, we never do such a thing, because each was their secret service that kidnapped Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and handed him to the Fulani Caliphate crazy criminals that auditioned him to Nigeria. Thank God that the devil, Buhari, who championed the whole thing, is now in hellfire, where he rightly belongs. UK, don't worry about the life, especially Igbo life, for that matter. Okay, no problem. Uluako Anyanwu said, please, to those in abroad, let there be continuous protest. UK government is very wicked. They are our problem, but they are not bigger than God. Now, watching this, our brother say we should tell it to the world, to the whole world. Okay, Peter Wanchuku Igwebike say British is evil and demonic in nature. So, my good people, let us just call it a day. Now, here we go take a break, and I can have us again when we come back. Like, share, comment too. I beg, make sure you keep subscribing to our channel and follow us on all our social media handles. Anywhere you find us, just follow us like your village people. And to do that, the God Almighty must always strengthen you and protect you at all times. Kachineke mezioku.